witnesses for their testimony, and we're going to start with a round of questioning. I'm going to defer my questions for at least another round and call on Senator Klobuchar.
Very good. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and congratulations to all of the incredible nominees we have. I also welcome many commissioners here from the FTC here to show their support for Mr. Bedoya. So very, very good showing. And I'm not going to be able to ask you, I think, Mr. Venkataraman, questions today. I'm going to put them on the record, but I can't tell you how important it is to me, the Foreign Commercial Service. I actually worked on a major bill years ago to help get funding, and what a difference it makes for our country. We should be a country that makes stuff, invents things, exports to the world. So thank you for that. I'm going to start with you, Chairwoman Rosenworcel. I like someone that has an even longer last name than me. So I was honored to have you in Minnesota. You came to talk about 911 many, many, many years ago and the importance of upgrading that. And could you talk about how you'll continue to make that in this changing world where people are making emergency calls by text, and where we have people maybe marooned in the middle of a snowstorm in Minnesota, and if their cell phone goes off, what happens? All these things keep happening in our state. Firefighters being able to have actual plans before they go into a building. Could you talk about your plans there?
Absolutely. Thank you, Senator, for the question. You may only call 911 once in your life, but it's going to be the most important call you ever make. And when you make it, you absolutely want first responders to find you. And we are on the cusp of updating 911 in this country to next generation 911, which will provide so much more functionality than just traditional voice. It could be video, data, and information that can help public safety address your needs when they arrive. And I think the way to do that is we're going to need to standardize our definitions of next generation 911. We're going to have to identify new funding sources. Traditionally, this has been done at the local level, and this probably needs a federal boost. And in addition, we're going to have to continue work to make sure that wireless calls result in public safety being able to find you in a snowstorm or in a building or anywhere you might be using that device to reach out for help.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm chair of the 911 caucus. I should have mentioned, you know that. We're excited. We're going to get some funding, I believe, in this reconciliation bill, and we will move forward from there. Broadband, I was the head of the bill that Representative Clyburn had in the House. I know you have been all over this. Could you talk about the challenges as we bring in this incredible investment to get to every corner of our country, in which I always joke that if Iceland can get broadband everywhere with the volcanoes, maybe we can handle it. Mapping, some of the things I know you're going to be asked about by my colleagues, just what you see our biggest challenges to be.
Yeah, I think this pandemic has proven like nothing before that we need to get broadband to everyone everywhere. We need to get it to 100% of the country, and we can't accept anything less. And with this recent infrastructure bill, I think we have a chance for generational change, but it requires us to execute and do that well. So making sure that the Department of Commerce, the Federal Communications Commission, our colleagues at the Rural Utilities Service are all working off the same data sets to make smart decisions about what to fund and where to deploy, I think is the first order of business. And in June, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Rural Utilities Service and the NTIA in anticipation of just that.
Right, and I think one of our obsessions is getting the funding out. And I know you will focus on that, making sure actually if people get money, one of the reasons we put a clawback in this bill is that if people don't start actually building it, we're gonna have to take it back, because for too long there's been a lot of promises made in certain rural areas. This will be something Secretary Raimondo will also be dealing with, but I wanna thank you for that. One specific question, and this comes from my competition work over in judiciary. I've long been concerned about competition in the video marketplace. We continue to hear serious concerns from independent programming networks regarding the negotiating tactics of some of the video distributors. Will you work with me and my colleagues to re-examine the impact of these practices and take appropriate action to protect the public interest?
If confirmed, yes, I will.
Okay, very good. I want to turn now, I think you're on Mr. Bedoya, Professor Bedoya via video there. Hello.
Hello.
Questions about the importance of the FTC work with your, what we hope to be your future colleagues here. My view is you can't take on the biggest companies the world have ever known with just duct tape and Band-Aids. You need resources. And could you talk about the importance of that in both the privacy area and the antitrust piece of the FTC's work?
Thank you, Senator. I emphatically agree with you. The folks in the Competition Bureau and the Bureau of Consumer Protection Privacy Division do extraordinary work, but they are dwarfed by the staffs at similar European countries, particularly privacy. And I think there's an urgent bipartisan consensus that we need to fix that. And I emphatically support that and would if confirmed in.
Very good. And then privacy legislation. Senator Cantwell has been an incredible leader in this area. Senator Wicker, I know that they're working together on this. We've had this really earth-shattering testimony of the whistleblower, which after years of working on this, I felt like that kind of crystallized everything we know, people feeling out of control in their lives, not being able to control their kids' exposure to accounts that they would never want them to see, data being shared, companies profiting off of individuals in our country like they're just pure profit centers with no regard to people's own privacy. Could you talk about how your experience in this area is perfect? This is a softball, sir. Perfect for what we have to do going forward.
Thank you, Senator. Certainly, I believe my oversight work, bipartisan oversight work in the Senate, speaks to my ability to do this. I'm a new parent. Seema and I have been thinking a lot about how to introduce our kids to this. And I'll also add, I'm excited to work with Commissioner Wilson on this issue. I know this is near and dear to her heart. She's an expert on this.
Okay, very good. And thank you as well to all the nominees. Look forward to working with you. Thank you, Senator Cantwell.
Senator Wicker.
Thank you, Madam Chair.